Doomsday has wrapped up. We've got the last 3 releases to cover, in which Doom meets the likes of Ian and Barbara, Brian the Ood, Jackie Tyler, and the 12th and the 8th Doctor, and she finally finds out if she can be saved, and we find out what caused this whole crazy day in the first place. Welcome to the series that unravels what new important information we find out in each of Doomsday's installments. Welcome to the Doomsday Canon catch-up. Hi, I'm Lanefield, welcome to my channel where I like to talk about all the geeky pop culture that I consume. Things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Star Trek, and of course, lots and lots of Doctor Who. So, if you like any of that, then subscribe below, so you don't miss a single video. And we're at the end of this series covering the latest Doctor Who multi-platform event. And it only took us 4 episodes. That's vastly shorter than the 14 or so it took to cover the previous multi-platform event, Time Lord Victorious. I will try and do a video tackling my thoughts on this event soon. But in the meantime, let's stick with the facts in this video. Because next up, we've got the BBC audiobook release, Fall from Doomsday, covering 4 hours in Doom's life. Starting with Hour 16, the Steel Cascade. As hinted at the last hour of the Lost in Time mobile game, Doom's latest mission is on a cruise ship on Earth in 1966. Her holographic disguise has given her the outfit of a waitress. She knows who her clients are this time, Safe Century Coalition, basically do-gooders as she refers to them. Her mission is twofold: eliminate the Red Gorgon and eliminate the Steel Cascade. But guess who is also on the cruise? Ian and Barbara are on the cruise, fairly fresh off their post-Doctor adventures beyond the Doctor 1965, also by BBC Audio it seems. And they're trying to recapture some of that travelling magic in a more earthbound setting. Doom initially thinks that they might be her targets, but after talking to them briefly and almost poisoning them via strawberry daiquiris, she realises they are not. I mean, if you're gonna go buy a strawberry daiquiri, I guess. But she does still clock that there's something odd about them. Barbara and Ian get involved in Doom's mission because, of course they do, when a man carrying an alien supercomputer is attacked by a Russian agent. Very James Bond. And Doom realises who Ian and Barbara are. She's researched as much as she can about the Doctor after all, while hopping from mission to mission over the last 16 hours, in those little moments in between trying to not get killed. The supercomputer is dropped and cracked, releasing a nanoform which kills the Russian agent. It kind of takes over her and uses her physical matter to multiply. Goes on to do this with everything it touches, including the ship. This leads Doom to realise she needs to scuttle the ship, theorising that the nanoform wouldn't survive in water. And of course, Barbara and Ian help her. They and the other passengers escape on a lifeboat. Doom gets Ian and Barbara to tell her all about their travels with the Doctor before picking her next mission on Mars. Hour 17, story 2 in this set, the Martian Dilemma. Doom's mission is that Calyx must die. Calyx turns out to be the Queen of the Martians, the first Queen of the Martians in fact. Doom finds humanoids on Mars and other aliens mixing with ice warriors in a big city square, the Jadeite city of Mars. Doom is surprised about this because she thought the city was a myth. The year is 11,000 BCE and the aliens talk of Mars being a dying world. An alliance of, let me get this right because some of these are hard to pronounce, Corsedelians, Pyroviles and more want Mars to join them and conquer the galaxy together, but the Queen doesn't want war. No war. Doom attempts to perform a hit, fails, and is captured. Turns out the client was Calyx's husband, Aslith, who didn't agree with her politics. This ice warrior likes war. When Doom reveals this, she works it out rather than having to be told. The Queen obviously kills her husband. Doom says that as the client is dead, Calyx, she could get away with not fulfilling the contract, and negotiates her release. However, Doom's hour has overrun by 15 minutes. She only gets an hour to complete her missions. The shadow creature is almost on her again when she eventually vortexes out. Then we're on to hour 18, an Ood Halloween. Dune arrives at Halloween in a shop in San Francisco, California, 1999. So about 2 months too early to run into a newly regenerated 8th Doctor. Her mission? To assassinate Valich, a stranded Coloxian crime lord. Also there is Brian the Ood. Remember him from Time Lord Victorious? The Ood assassin. Good job it's Halloween really, because frankly he would look a bit conspicuous otherwise. Doom has of course met him before, as we talked about previously in episodes of the Canon catch-up. They both work for the same organisation, the Lesser Order of Oberon. Brian refers to him and Mr. Ball being away for a while, having some unexpected adventures. Presumably, this is referring to Time Lord Victorious stuff. Doom refers to the incident of Brian killing the Ood leadership of the Lesser Order, clarifying earlier statements in Time Lord Victorious where it seemed maybe he was saying that he killed the whole Order, but no, it seems it was just the leadership. Brian is now working for the Order again for the new leadership. He's there to offer Doom a second chance after not completing her last mission. Brian admits to having met several incarnations of the Doctor, again probably referencing Time Lord Victorious. Brian accompanies her on her mission, during which she blows up a substation. Doom does kill her target eventually with Mr. Ball, while Brian is unconscious. Doom vortex manipulates out to the next mission. Hour 19, the last in this particular box set. Dark Space. She had expected to land in 2167 during the Dalek invasion, but it ended up actually millions of years in the future and not on Earth, on a barren power planet with no stars in one direction but some in the other. End my suffering, comes a voice on her vortex manipulator. She finds a ship wreckage. There are jelly creatures, probably its crew. The 12th Doctor arrives. Weirdly, Doom doesn't seem to know who he is, despite hearing the TARDIS sound and having recognised it in a previous adventure. The Doctor doesn't seem to recognise her either, which, despite now having met her in both his first, second, sixth, ninth, and soon to be his 8th incarnation, all before this incarnation, it's a bit odd. He's also picked up the signal. Voice appears to be a data ghost of a woman who was dead in a spacesuit. They find a crowd of Androgynous people cheering who glow. Time Sayers in robes. They try to anoint Doom as their protector. The Doctor tells the crowd that Doom will become a tyrant and shows a hologram of her killing some of the people. Doom herself has a vision on the command of a space cruiser in the middle of a battle. In the vision, she orders a weapon fired on the TARDIS. Doom has defeated the Galactic Federation, has a Martian, an Alpha Centaurian, and a human and others as hostages, but it was all a vision. She wakes up back on the desolate planet. Zeta, one of the Time Sayers, is there. She has seen herself become ruler and conquered, but always the Doctor stops her. The Doctor is her suffering. She wants Doom to kill the Doctor. Doom is going to do it to complete a mission as well, so that she can leave. After all, this isn't the Doctor she's after. However, the Doctor uses the sonic glasses on her vortex manipulator to change Doom's mission to bring about the end of me. So Doom kills Zeta instead, and that counts as completing the mission. Open to interpretation, you might say. Now, here the Doctor does say he remembers her, but then later on we're told he lied, and he has a vague impression that he might have met her. This might mean Doom's fate isn't fixed, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey and all that. And which Doctors remember her is kind of in flux, I guess. Anyway, she vortex manipulates out. The next entry in Doomsday is the Big Finish box set. We get Hour 20, Dawn of an Everlasting Peace. The year is 3975. It's Venus. It's the signing of the non-aggression pact between the Big Four: Earth, Venus, Mars, and Uranus, and also other races from the galaxy. This is the act referenced in the Daleks' master plan. This is a prequel to those events. The signing is being run by the SSS, the Space Security Service, again from the Daleks' master plan. Doom's target is the SSS supercomputer Compuvac. Doom discovers a conspiracy to overtake the universe by an alliance of several races. These are the Dalek allies, although that's not revealed here, just hinted. She befriends a woman who turns out to also know something about the conspiracy. She's there with an old man in a wheelchair, who eventually turns out to be her son aged in a Terranium bomb that also killed her husband, who was an SSS agent. The bomb was sent because he had discovered the conspiracy. Terranium, by the way, is the substance that ages Sarah Kingdom to death in the Daleks' master plan. This woman has set a bomb under the stage of the signing so it doesn't go ahead and it disrupts the conspiracy, but when she finds out the head of the SSS is there, she goes with Doom to tell him of the conspiracy. Unfortunately, he's in on it, and he puts a hit on her which Doom accepts. But first, they go to the SSS supercomputer, CompuVac. This is the computer that works out all the SSS strategies. Doom tries to get info about the Doctor from the computer, but Lynette reveals conspiracy, and Doom reveals that she's worked out the head of the SSS is in on it, which the computer just basically struggles to cope with and has a meltdown. Doom tells the woman that she's accepted the job to kill her, but decided to be flexible with the interpretation. That woman is dead. She no longer exists. From now on, she'll have to be someone else. Doom then accepts a job, and it's one that involves Jackie Tyler. Hour 21, A Date with Destiny. There's a hit on Jackie by the Zirconium Claw, who the Doctor and Rose have annoyed in their travels somehow. Dennis asks Jackie out. Is that a reference to it? Was Dennis referenced in the TV show? I meant to look it up before recording this, but I forgot. I vaguely think that Dennis might have been referenced in the TV show. But Dennis's body is hijacked by another assassin, Destiny, who has taken the hit. Doom saves Jackie from the poison that Destiny gives her with an antidote. Doom then tells Jackie that she is the Doctor. Jackie, while not entirely trusting, doesn't act like it's impossible, so I'm guessing for her this is after Christmas invasion for her. She's seen regeneration. Destiny's trying to set up a rival agency to Lesser Order of Oberon, says apparently Brian the Ood is on board. Could this be the recruitment he was doing during Time Fracture, according to some? They are going to call their new agency Titania. It's a Midsummer Night's Dream reference. Oberon's queen and rival in that play. Jackie confirms that Doom is not the Doctor by testing her by mentioning 3 hearts, and Doom doesn't correct her. The client shows up. Doom kills the client on grounds that they'd hired a rival agency, Destiny's, and broken the Lesser Order's exclusivity clause. Doom kills Destiny, who it turns out was Doom's target all along. While picking her next mission, we find out there's a job available for a chain-wielding maniac that the Daleks would like exterminating. This is probably Absalom Dak, a Dalek hunter from the Doctor Who magazine comics. But she doesn't take that one, it's just a nice Easter egg. Jackie calls the Doctor via Rose to tell him that Doom is looking for him. Hour 22, The Howling Wars of Zanfir. The mission is to assassinate a Silence. Not an easy thing to do, considering you forget them when you look away from them. Doom arrives during a battle, or a war, on the planet Zanfir. Doom pretends to be a mercenary working for a dog-wolf-like species. The Silence on this planet are part of the Corellian chapter, the chapter that wanted to kill the Doctor. The Silent wants to discover the mystery of the wolf's howl, which travels through space and time to use it to silence the Doctor. Doom suffers periods of lost time while travelling to a pyramid with the wolves. Obviously she's seen some Silence. Suddenly she finds herself about to be executed with one of the wolves, but escapes and is confronted by a Silent. The Silent doesn't kill her because she mentions the Doctor and sends her on a wild goose chase around a labyrinth, hoping the Doctor will turn up to help her and run down the clock on her mission, while also manipulating the wolves into thinking they are betraying each other. To defeat the Silent, Doom gets the wolves to emit a howl with a frequency to cancel out the Silent's voices so that they can't issue subliminal commands. Doom then manages to kill her target. She then accepts a mission to medieval England, where Artron energy has been detected. Hour 23, The Crowd. It is Canterbury, 4 years before the cathedral burned down. So, for those not up on their medieval history, it burned down in 1067, so this must be 1063. The target is The Crowd, a group linked to a series of disasters. Doom runs into the 8th Doctor companion Charlie Pollard, who she overhears mention the Doctor. Then she runs into Thomas Becket, the historical figure, who apparently sees faces in the shadows. This is The Crowd. The 8th Doctor comes in dressed as a knight. Doom gets knocked out and wakes up in the cathedral. The 8th Doctor also doesn't recognise her, much like the 12th. I mean, what is with all these Doctors not recognising someone several of their past incarnations have met? Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, I'm sure. The Doctor and Charlie are there to stop the Crowd too. Now the Crowd, they're a species drawn to tragedy. They don't usually cause it, but they've run out of historical events to feed off, so they've started to create their own. The Crowd take an interest in Doom because Death is following her, that mysterious figure in the cloak. The Doctor tells Doom that long-term use of vortex manipulators has negative effects on the users. Doesn't say what. Is this the first we've heard of this? Has anyone told Jack? The Doctor later says he does remember a previous encounter with her. Can these Doctors please keep their story straight? Although we later find out he only remembers her from his first incarnation. The Doctor agrees to help Doom and take her to the First Doctor because she has offered to give up being an assassin and help defeat the Crowd and rescue Charlie. Doom uses the Crowd's time travel scroll to send them all to the tavern that earlier blew up. a second before it blew up. The Doctor, however, doesn't like her killing them and says he won't honour his deal because of it, but after a plea from Doom, he agrees to take her back to New Venice. Which rounds up the Big Finish release and brings us to the final instalment, the last hour of Doomsday. Hour 24, Out of Time by James Goss. This short story was released on the Doctor Who website for free, so you can go and read it. Doom has returned to New Venice via the 8th Doctor, and it's a bit of a state here, frankly. We're talking smouldering ruins, rusting shards, broken marble. It's just a mess. It's referred to as being part of the Empire, possibly one of the human empires, the fourth great and bountiful perhaps, or maybe an earlier or a later one. We get a flashback to her last time on New Venice, the very beginning of this whole day, with the first Doctor telling her it would be a mistake to kill her target, and that it was a trap. And she realises, a second after pulling the trigger, that she's just been sent to assassinate herself. Doom calls Terry, who doesn't really care, that's the person that gives her the missions, doesn't really care that she's about to not exist and won't tell her who hired her to kill herself. Back in the present, the First Doctor is still on New Venice in these ruins. He's been unable to leave, his TARDIS getting trapped by the temporal anomaly that is Doom. He mentions having tickets to Mamma Mia with Susan, Ian and Barbara, so I guess that helps place it a bit in his timeline, but where are his companions? Who knows, maybe they're already there waiting for him at the Mamma Mia show. The Doctor's solution is to make adjustments to Doom's vortex manipulator to send her back to shoot the version of herself that had shot the even younger version of her. She disappears, reappears with her arm in a sling. She had apparently shot her former self in the arm to stop her killing herself. Oh, timey-wimey. The Doctor explains that the creature that had been stalking her was a gatherer that feeds on the energy from temporal anomalies, but now hers was mostly fixed, so it'd go after the one that had hired her instead, which it turns out was the very annoying Terry back at Lesser Order HQ, the one giving her the missions. She wanted Doom out of the way so she could murder the rest of the Order and take over. Says she's killed the Grandmasters and the Assassins. Brian? No, not Brian, surely. The Gatherer appears in Terry's office and kills her. The Order is no more. Although we've heard that before. Doom spots an opportunity for what she might do now. Thinks she might be able to make a living cleaning up the Doctor's mess. And that's it for Doomsday. A succinct-ish summary of what happened over the whole event over these 4 episodes of this series. If I find the time amongst all the 60 of stuff happening, I may do a review of the whole event. Let me know down below if you'd like to see that. And put your own thoughts of the event down there too in the comments, and I might include a few in that video. In the meantime, if you like Doctor Who, and games, board games and such, check out my unboxing of the new Doctor Who themed Magic the Gathering collectible game set right, wait, there or there, I can't remember where I'm going to put it, somewhere on the screen. Anyway, see you soon, thanks for watching, goodbye.